They say we all have the same 24 hours, but that's not true when you're broke, because when your paycheck barely covers the basics, you don't get to dream. You just survive. And survival makes everything harder, especially building wealth. Scroll through YouTube or TikTok for 10 minutes and you'll find a sea of financial advice. Max out your Roth IRA. Invest 20% of your income. Start networking with high-value people. Sounds smart, right? But what if you're making $2,500 a month? Your rent is $1,200. Groceries take $500. Gas bills and life take the rest. There's no 20% left. There's not even 2% left. You're not thinking about retirement. You're thinking, can I make it to next Friday without swiping my credit card? This is the reality for millions of people. And it's not because they're lazy or irresponsible. It's because the system was never designed for someone starting with nothing. Most financial advice is written by and for people who already have money. But what if you don't? What if you're working a full-time job, still living paycheck to paycheck, and feel like no matter how hard you try, you're always behind? That's who this video is for. Not the people on their fifth property, not the ones comparing crypto portfolios, but the people who feel stuck and want a way out. Because even when you're earning very little, there are moves you can make. Not theory, not hype, but 7 real tested lessons that can shift your direction, no matter where you're starting. These lessons won't solve everything overnight, but they'll give you something most people never find when they're broke: leverage, clarity, and control. Let's start. In the age of social media, everyone talks about networking. Get in the right room. Surround yourself with successful people. Your network is your net worth. And yes, connections can open doors. But here's what no one tells you. If you show up empty-handed, no one invites you back. Because networking isn't magic. It's not a cheat code. It's a value exchange. And if you haven't built anything yet, no skills, no projects, no results, then what exactly are you exchanging? Imagine walking into a room of business owners and investors. They're sharing strategies, partnerships, ideas. You sit down and say, "I'm really passionate and I'd love to be mentored." That's not value. That's a request. And in the real world, requests don't build trust. Results do. The biggest lie struggling people believe is that they need a connection to get started. But most successful people didn't start with connections. They started alone, in silence, doing the work no one clapped for. They built skills. They failed quietly. They launched things that didn't work. And eventually they built something that did. That's when networking became useful, because they had something to offer. So if you're making $2,500 a month and trying to change your life, don't waste time chasing handshakes. Use that time to build your offer. Write code, design graphics, edit videos, launch a service, a product, a page, a podcast, even if it's messy, even if no one's watching. Because when you do that, something powerful happens. You stop needing validation and start creating leverage. Now, when you meet someone successful, you're not begging to be noticed. You're showing proof of work. You're not saying, can you help me? You're saying, here's what I've built. Want to collaborate? That's the difference between someone who gets remembered and someone who gets ignored. So build first, talk later. Your future network doesn't care how excited you are. They care how prepared you are. When your income is low, your budget becomes a battlefield. Every dollar is a soldier, and every move counts. You're not playing for fun, you're playing for survival. If you make $2,500 a month, there's no room for wasted money. Every dollar you spend on the wrong thing is a defender out of position. And the goal is wide open. When you're broke, there's no safety net, no backup savings, no margin for error. So even the smallest mistake can cost you the game. And here's the irony. Most people who struggle financially don't lose because of one huge, irresponsible purchase. They lose because of dozens of small ones that never felt dangerous until it was too late. The $12 takeout you ordered because you were too tired to cook. The $18 Uber you called because you were late. The $30 subscription you forgot to cancel. None of them seem like a big deal in isolation, but together, they become a slow leak that drains your progress. Let's do the math. 2 delivery meals a week, that's $100 a month. Add 2 or 3 spontaneous Ubers, another $60. Streaming, apps, subscriptions, easily $40 more. That's $200 plus per month disappearing into thin air. And for someone earning $2,500, that's 8% of your income, gone without moving you forward. No investment, no asset, just convenience with a high price tag. And the worst part, it feels like you're doing nothing wrong, because nothing you bought was luxury. It was just lunch, or gas, or something small. But small adds up. So what's the fix? Intentionality. That doesn't mean living like a monk. It means treating every dollar like it matters, because it does. Make food at home, even if it's boring. Take the bus, even if it's slower. Hang out with friends at home, even if it feels awkward to say no to a bar tab. Because when you earn less, the only way to win is to out-discipline the environment around you. You don't have to eliminate joy. You have to eliminate autopilot. Every dollar is either building your future or quietly stealing it. There's a reason so many people stay stuck. And it's not just about money. It's about comfort. Because even if your life isn't great, at least you know how to survive in it. You know how to make $2,500 stretch. You know how to juggle bills. You know how to tell yourself, maybe next year. But stepping into something new, a business, a side hustle, a new skill, a second job, means stepping into the unknown. And the unknown is scary. You'll have to learn things you don't understand yet. You'll have to put yourself out there. You'll have to risk looking dumb, failing publicly, being rejected, maybe even laughed at. So most people stay where they are. Not because they love it, but because it's predictable. But here's the truth. Discomfort isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're finally doing something different. You think building a better life is supposed to feel easy? It's not. It's supposed to feel awkward, lonely, uncertain. You're breaking habits you've had for years. You're learning how to say no when everyone else is saying yes. You're waking up earlier, staying up later, trying harder, with no guarantee. And that's where most people stop. They dip a toe in, feel the cold, and run back to warm misery. But what they miss is this. Every uncomfortable thing you do today makes tomorrow more comfortable. Every late night learning a new skill. Every awkward sales call. Every video you post that no one watches. Every step forward that makes you sweat. It's a down payment on the life you want. And once you've paid enough, the world starts to open. You won't need motivation. You'll have momentum. You won't fear rejection. You'll be too busy growing. So if you're scared of starting, good. That means it matters. Do it anyway. Because pain now is better than regret later. If you're trying to change your life, there's one habit you'll need more than any other. No, not waking up at 5 a.m., not journaling, not even budgeting. You need to learn to say no. And not just to stuff you don't like, but to things you do like, to people you care about, to habits that feel fun in the moment. Because the fastest way to go broke is to spend like everyone around you, when you're trying to live differently than they do. Your coworkers might go out for drinks after every shift. Your friends might blow $300 on a last-minute weekend trip. Your cousin might be financing a new car she can't afford. But if you say yes to all that, you're not saying yes to connection. You're saying no to your own goals. And here's the trap. You don't want to be the odd one out. You don't want to seem cheap. You don't want to miss out. So you compromise, just a little. A drink here, a dinner there, a new outfit just this once. And soon, you're back where you started. Broke, frustrated, wondering why nothing's changing. Progress requires sacrifice. Not forever, but long enough to tip the balance in your favor. And yes, it gets lonely sometimes. You'll feel misunderstood. You'll feel judged. People might say, "Come on, it's just $20. Don't be so serious. Live a little." But they're not the ones checking your bank account. They're not the ones staying up at night thinking about rent. You are. So here's your permission slip. Say no. No to the third round at the bar. No to the overpriced concert. No to loaning money to people who never pay back. No to short-term approval at the cost of long-term peace. And here's the twist. The stronger your no becomes now, the bigger your yes will be later. Yes to freedom. Yes to options. Yes to spontaneous generosity, not forced obligation. Saying no doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're protecting something worth more, your direction. When you're low on cash, credit feels like a lifeline. You swipe the card because your car broke down, or your kid got sick, or you were just too tired to cook and ordered takeout again. And you tell yourself, I'll figure it out next month. But here's the truth most people don't realize until it's too late. Debt doesn't solve your problems, it just delays the consequences. And the delay comes with interest. Let's say you put $1,000 on a credit card. You make minimum payments. You miss one. Now the interest kicks in. 23%, 25%, mas even 29% on some cards. And that $1,000, it quietly becomes $1,200, then $1,600, then $2,400. Not because you're buying more, but because time is working against you now. Every month the interest compounds, and while your paycheck stays flat, your debt grows by itself. It's like planting a weed in your wallet and watering it with stress, and it's not just math, it's emotional. Debt makes you feel stuck. It makes you second guess everything. It follows you into every conversation, every grocery store trip, every late night spiral. And eventually it robs you of the very thing you need most, momentum. Because how can you think about growing your income when you're just trying to stay afloat? How do you invest in yourself when your past spending keeps dragging you down? So what do? If you're not in debt yet, stay that way. Avoid it like a trap on the sidewalk. If you're already in debt, face it. Stop pretending it's manageable if it's not. Cut up the card. Call the company. Negotiate. Sell something. Take an extra gig. Get aggressive. Not ashamed. You're not a failure for falling into debt, but you will stay trapped if you don't act. Credit cards, store cards, payday loans, they're not friends. They're not tools. They're weapons pointed at your future income. Use them wrong, and they don't just take money. They take years. Years of freedom. Years of peace. Years of options. Don't give them that. Too many people talk about their paycheck like it's who they are. I only make $2,500 a month. I can't afford that. I'll never get ahead at this salary. As if the number in your bank account was your destiny. But let's be clear, your income is not your identity. It's a situation. And like any situation, it can change. The problem is, most people don't even try because they've been taught to survive, not to grow. So instead of asking, how can I earn more? They ask, how can I cut more? They stop using paper towels. They rinse out plastic bags. They cancel $7 subscriptions and feel proud. But the rent still shows up. The car still breaks down. And no amount of couponing will ever make you rich. Here's the hard truth. You will never save your way out of poverty if your income never increases. And most of the time, earning more is easier than extreme frugality. Think about it. What's more likely to move your life forward? Cutting $30 from your food budget, or making an extra $300 a month? One feels like punishment. The other feels like progress. And no, you don't need to start a business tomorrow. You don't need to invent the next Uber. But you do need to stop accepting barely enough as the ceiling of your potential. Start by asking, what can I do that people would pay for? What skill could I learn in 30 days that opens new doors? What service could I offer locally or online right now? You could resell things on Facebook Marketplace, edit videos, babysit, freelance on Fiverr, tutor online, pick up shifts, learn copywriting, social media, logistics, customer support. Even $100 a week, just $14 a day, adds up to $5,000 a year. And the best part? That extra income isn't tied to your basic expenses, it's available for building. But it starts with refusing to settle. You're not someone who makes $2,500. You're someone who's starting at $2,500, but going somewhere else. Here's how most people handle money. They get paid, spend what they need, spend what they want, and if anything's left, they think, maybe I'll save a little. But let's be honest, there's never anything left. And that's not just about income, it's about habit. Because when you treat saving as an afterthought, you're training your brain to ignore your future. So what's the shift? Flip the order. Pay yourself first. Before rent. Before bills. Before groceries. Before Netflix. Set aside something, even if it's just $20. Treat it like a non-negotiable bill, just like your lights, your phone, your Wi-Fi. But this bill doesn't go to a company. It goes to your future self. That $20, it's not about the amount, it's about the message. I believe in my tomorrow more than I fear my today. And here's the beauty of it. You're not just saving money, you're building identity. You're becoming someone who saves, someone who plans, someone who takes control. And when your income grows, the habit stays. That $20 becomes $100, then $300, then $1,000, and you won't even have to think about it because you've built the muscle. But if you tell yourself, I'll start saving when I make more, you never will, because your lifestyle will rise with your income, and you'll always be waiting for the perfect moment. Here's the truth. If you can't save $20 from $2,000, you won't save $200 from $5,000. It's never about the money. It's about the mindset. So, why does it feel so hard to move forward when you earn so little? Because it is. But not because you're lazy. Not because you're bad with money. Not because you're not smart enough. It's hard because you're doing something most people never do. Trying to build wealth from scratch. No inheritance, no connections, no guidance, just grit. And that path is slow, quiet, unseen. Until one day, it isn't. Until one day, your habits kick in. Your debt is gone. Your savings exist. Your skills have value, and your money finally starts pulling you forward instead of holding you back. That's the moment where everything changes. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. If this video helped clarify your path, like and subscribe for more stories that reveal how money really works. And tell us in the comments, which of these 7 lessons hit you hardest? Let's turn the comment section into a space for real strategies, not just motivation. And remember, every dollar you save today is a silent worker that never clocks out.